It all began like any other light-hearted late-night interview. Hugh Jackman, the beloved Australian actor known for his charm and versatility, was invited once again to the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. Fans were eagerly anticipating another round of witty banter and good-natured jokes. Jackman, always gracious, arrived at the studio with a smile and high spirits. But no one, not the fans, not the crew, and certainly not Jimmy, anticipated what was about to unfold on live television. What started as playful teasing quickly escalated into a fiery exchange that left the audience stunned. As Jimmy welcomed Hugh to the stage, the two shared a hug and a few inside jokes. The chemistry seemed as electric as ever. They reminisced about past interviews, Jackman's roles, and their faux rivalry over mutual friend Ryan Reynolds. Laughter filled the studio as Kimmel leaned into his usual style, dry humor mixed with just enough sarcasm. But a subtle shift in tone was about to change everything. Kimmel brought up a topic that Jackman wasn't expecting, a rumored project that had recently leaked online. Jimmy, with that mischievous grin, said, "So, Hugh, tell us about this other Wolverine return you've been keeping under wraps." The crowd cheered, thinking it was all in jest. Jackman, visibly taken aback, raised his eyebrows. "I'm sorry, what are you referring to?" he asked, trying to maintain his composure. Jimmy doubled down, quoting supposed, inside sources, about Jackman reprising Wolverine in an unannounced Marvel cameo. The smile faded from Hugh's face. He leaned back in his chair and crossed his arms, signaling a shift in the room's energy. Jackman replied carefully, "You know, Jimmy, there are lines, mate. And some of them shouldn't be crossed." The studio went quiet for a moment. Was he joking? Was this another layer of their rivalry act? Jimmy laughed, trying to diffuse the tension. "Come on, it's all fun, right?" But Hugh didn't laugh. He adjusted his jacket, cleared his throat, and said, "You bring up things that are private, speculative, and frankly, none of your business." At this point, the audience sensed this wasn't scripted. Trying to recover, Jimmy pivoted to another topic, a cheeky game where Jackman would guess which headlines were real or fake. The first few questions landed well, but one headline read, "Jackman refuses to work with certain Marvel co-stars." Hugh's expression darkened again. "You know this is damaging, right? There are real people involved, careers, reputations." He looked directly at the camera and said, "This isn't what I signed up for." Jimmy, sensing the mounting tension, chuckled nervously and shuffled his cards. By now, social media was ablaze. Clips were already being shared by viewers watching live, with hashtags like #HughVsJimmy and #WolverineMeltdown trending within minutes. Hugh leaned into the mic and said, "I've done hundreds of these interviews, and I've always respected the process. But you, Jimmy, you've crossed a line tonight." The crew behind the cameras looked at each other, unsure whether to cut to commercial. But Kimmel, perhaps overconfident, chose to keep rolling. Jimmy said, "Hugh, I think people want the truth. You've built a brand on honesty and transparency." Hugh shot back, "Then why spread rumors? Why throw colleagues under the bus on national television?" The crowd was now dead silent. This wasn't the charming Wolverine from X-Men or the singing sensation from The Greatest Showman. This was a man who felt genuinely betrayed, live in front of millions. Kimmel's trademark smirk was gone. Hugh stood up briefly, looked backstage, then sat down again. "I've got half a mind to walk off this set," he said. Jimmy tried a soft apology. "Look, I didn't mean to upset you." Hugh replied, "That's the problem, you didn't think. You chased a headline." There was a palpable sense of discomfort. Even the laughter signs for the audience stayed dark. No one was quite sure how to react. This wasn't how late-night television was supposed to go. Kimmel tried changing tactics. "All right, let's just talk about your new film," he said, reaching for a clip to play. Hugh stopped him. "Don't pivot, own it, you're a grown man." The firmness in Jackman's voice left no room for charm or recovery. "You pushed a narrative that could hurt my colleagues and my credibility." Jimmy nodded slowly, realizing this wasn't just a PR blip. This was a personal and professional affront to someone who'd supported the show for years. What happened next shocked everyone. Hugh turned to the audience and said, "This isn't entertainment. This is character assassination dressed up as comedy." Applause broke out, not loud, but sincere. Jimmy muttered, "Fair enough," and for the first time in the interview, he looked remorseful. Jackman leaned forward, eyes steady, and said, "There's a responsibility with this platform. Don't weaponize it against your guests." The message was clear and powerful. After a long silence, Jimmy finally said, "You're right. I messed up." It was as close to an on-air apology as he had ever given. Hugh nodded, but didn't smile. "Apologies are a start, not a fix," he said. The segment ended soon after, without the usual jovial goodbye or studio laughter. As the show cut to commercial, viewers were left speechless. The footage quickly circulated online, with millions of views before sunrise. Behind the scenes, sources reported that Kimmel approached Jackman personally after the taping. The two had a tense but civil conversation. Hugh reportedly told him, "I've always tried to bring respect into every room I enter. I hope next time, you'll do the same." Kimmel later acknowledged that he underestimated the impact of his words. Still, the moment marked a turning point in how celebrities and hosts interact in this media-saturated age. Reactions poured in from fans, fellow actors, and media analysts. Some praised Jackman for standing his ground, while others felt it was an overreaction. Ryan Reynolds posted a cryptic tweet, a popcorn emoji followed by, "Yikes." Other celebrities echoed support for Hugh, commending his calm but firm handling of the situation. Late-night shows are known for controversy, but this was something different, raw, real, and unscripted. Industry insiders speculated whether Jackman would ever return to the Kimmel Show. Some sources claimed this could affect future Disney Marvel promotional plans. But Hugh, ever the professional, issued a statement, "We all make mistakes. It's how we respond that defines us. I'm moving forward, with integrity intact." Kimmel, for his part, kept quiet for days, before issuing a formal apology on a later episode. In that follow-up episode, Jimmy addressed the incident. "Last week's interview with Hugh Jackman didn't go the way it should have. I crossed a line. I regret it, and I've reached out privately to apologize. It was a moment of humility that resonated with many viewers." He added, "Hugh is one of the classiest people in Hollywood, and I didn't treat him that way." While some fans accepted the apology, others remained skeptical. The incident sparked broader conversations about celebrity culture, media ethics, and the limits of comedy. Was it fair to ambush guests for ratings? Where do we draw the line between humor and humiliation? Jackman's reaction became a symbol of setting boundaries, a rare moment when a celebrity used their platform not just to promote, but to take a stand. The ripples were felt far beyond Hollywood. Since then, other stars have reportedly revised their interview agreements, requesting more transparency about segment content. Producers have become more cautious, especially with high-profile guests. Jackman, meanwhile, continued his press tour, with appearances on more grounded shows. He even referenced the incident with a smile in a later podcast, saying, "Sometimes you have to remind folks, Wolverine's claws may be fake, but my patience isn't." Media outlets analyzed every second of the confrontation, turning it into think pieces, panel discussions, and countless reaction videos. Was Jackman justified? Became a trending question, but for most fans, the answer was clear. Hugh wasn't just defending himself, he was defending decency. In an era where viral content often trumps truth, Jackman reminded everyone of the power of dignity under pressure. The story eventually faded from headlines, but not from memory. For many, it became a case study in celebrity boundaries. Jackman's refusal to play along with a damaging narrative became a powerful example of self-respect. And for Jimmy Kimmel, it served as a humbling reminder that even seasoned hosts can stumble, and that redemption requires not just words, but change. In the end, the on-air clash between Hugh Jackman and Jimmy Kimmel wasn't just a heated moment, it was a defining one. It showed that integrity can't be scripted, and authenticity will always cut through the noise. Whether or not the two will share a stage again remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, Hugh Jackman's calm fury struck a chord, proving that even in the spotlight, standing your ground matters.